All right, it is time. Happy Wednesday. Welcome and thank you for being here for yoga. I see some new names here. I'm so glad that you showed up. I hope that you have a good time. And just a reminder that everything I offer is just that, an offering. If something doesn't feel good, feel free to sit that one out or try something else to the best of your ability. But I hope that you have a good time with this. So we're going to get started by sitting comfortably and just centering. So whatever position feels most comfortable for you to do that in. I'm sitting on a couple of folded blankets and crossed legs. You could extend a leg forward. You could have both legs forward. You could even lay down if you want to. Maybe it's been a rough day, you could lay down. But we'll spend just a couple minutes going inward, turning off the outside world and tuning into what might be going on in here. Okay? So, being comfortable, go ahead and relax your shoulders down back. Feel your eyes close and take just a few deep breaths in and out. Aware of the sensation in the nostrils and the throat and the body as you inhale, that filling feeling. Then aware of the reverse of that, the body emptying, the relief that comes with that exhale, the sensation of the throat, the nostrils. You can even repeat in your mind as you inhale that I am breathing in. You could repeat in your mind as you exhale, I am breathing out. And that just helps to bring you really present to the breath. And when we're present with the breath, we're not spinning in what happened today. We're not spinning in what might happen after we're done here. This awareness of the breath pulls us out of that cycle and allows us to really just to be aware of this inhale, aware of this exhale. Such a relief to get off the train for a moment. Good. All right. Go ahead and take a deeper, fuller breath. Then bring your palms together at your heart and bow your chin and just honor yourself as you are in this moment. Acknowledge yourself as you are in this moment, this body, your breath, your energetic state, the state of mind that you are in. That's from that place within you that we'll practice tonight. Go ahead and roll the palms together, creating some warmth between them. And then take the heated palms over the eyes. Brush back over the top of your head, down your neck, bringing yourself gently, carefully back to the space around you. And we're going to start off on our backs tonight. So go ahead and move any props you have off to the side, if you have any props, and come to lay down. Take your time getting there. But once you are on your back, go ahead and hug both knees into your chest. And just feel how that feels to bring the knees in toward your chest, to feel the back body grounding, to feel the breath moving in your body. Again, that present feeling, that present sensation. Good, all right. So keep the right knee drawn into your chest and extend your left leg down to the floor. And flex the left foot, point the toes toward the ceiling, and just feel this gentle stretch in the hip here, drawing that right knee in. And then go ahead and hold behind the right knee or thigh with both hands. And with your inhale, go ahead and extend the right leg toward the ceiling, reaching through the heel. And as you exhale, bring the right knee back into your chest. Inhale, extend the right leg toward the ceiling. And exhale, right knee to chest. And let's just keep going. And you're extending through the heel, pulling the toes back. This helps to lengthen the back of the right leg. Inhale, extend. And exhale, bend. We'll do it a few more times, warming up this leg. Good. Now go ahead and extend the right leg toward the ceiling and point the toes away from you. And then pull the toes back toward you. Flex the foot. And then point, and then flex. Point and flex. Point and flex. And then go ahead and point the toes. Then begin to circle the ankle around in one direction on that ankle joint. And go slowly. It's our temptation when we get started with this to move that ankle around fast. I'm going to tempt you to do it slowly, which objectively is more agitating, but we actually start to stretch what needs to be stretched. We bring relief to what needs relief in this ankle joint. Ankles do so much to support us. Good. Go ahead and circle in the opposite direction. Again, moving slowly, taking your time to feel the full rotation of this joint. And if agitation comes up, just breathe with it, all right? Good. One more. And then go ahead and draw that knee back into your chest. And then extend that leg down to the floor. Feel the difference between both legs here. That right leg has been worked out a little bit. The left leg has not yet. Probably feels important to do the other side. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Bringing your left knee into your chest now. And again, we'll start here, just feeling this gentle stretch in the hip. The right foot is flexed, toes pointing toward the ceiling. Both legs are activated here. Good. Then go ahead and hold behind the left thigh with both hands. And then inhale, extend the left leg toward the ceiling, pull the toes back, and then exhale, bend the knee back into your chest. Inhale, extend the leg toward the ceiling again, reaching through the heel, the back of the leg lengthening, and exhale, knee to chest. Let's keep going. Inhale, extend, and exhale, bend. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. Twice more. Good. Then go ahead and extend that leg, pull the toes back, and then point the toes away from you. Then pull them back, and then point the toes. Pulling back, and point, pull back, and point. Then begin to slowly move the foot around, rotating on this ankle joint in one direction, taking your time to feel the full movement of that joint and all sensation that accompanies it, even if it's uncomfortable, because we're just moving that tension out. And sometimes we have to feel it a little bit before we can let it go. And if that feels philosophical to you, let it feel philosophical to you. Go ahead and circle in the opposite direction, again, going slowly. Relax your jaw. Breathe. Good. And then go ahead and hug the knee in and extend it down to the floor. And hopefully your legs feel a bit more balanced here. Good. All right. So moving along, Go ahead and bring your feet flat to the floor and have your heels stacking underneath your knees. The knees are about hip width apart, prepping for bridge pose. Have your arms by your sides. We'll start with some arm movements. We'll add the hips in just a moment. With your next inhale, please lift your arms toward the ceiling, then all the way overhead, knuckles on the floor above you. And then exhale, release your arms back down to your sides. Inhale, lift back up, arms overhead. And exhale back down. Again with the arms. Inhale, reaching toward the ceiling, and then overhead, knuckles on the floor. And then exhale back down. Let's add the hips. Keep moving the arms, but with your next inhale, lift the arms, pick up the hips, press the pelvis toward the ceiling. Exhale, release your arms and hips together. Inhale, reaching up again, hips and arms. And exhale, releasing back down. Warming up the spine and hips a bit here. Let's keep it going. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And try to keep the feet flat on the floor. Pressing up, inhale. Exhale, back down. Let's do about 3 to 4 more, depending on how quickly you're going. And then take your time getting there. But as you lift into the pose this time, hips raised, arms all the way overhead, please stay. Again, feet are flat on the floor. You're pressing the pelvis toward the ceiling, and there's also a bit of a bowing in the upper spine. So you can think about your sternum or your breastbone coming closer to your chin, deepening that back bend in the upper back. Relax your throat, relax your jaw, press up a bit higher, breathe. There's a lot to do here. Good, deep breath in. And exhale, release the arms, release the hips, coming back down. Good job. Okay, so from here, walk your feet away from your body about 6 inches, and then take your feet as wide apart as your yoga mat. So a little bit wider than your shoulders. For this next exercise, you're going to want to keep the feet this distance apart. Don't bring them closer together. It's tempting to do so, but keep them mat width apart. So your arms resting out to your sides. With your inhale, allow your knees to fall to the right. The left hip rocks up. As you exhale, ground your lower back to the floor and allow the knees to come back to center. And then inhale, take the knees to the left. Right hip rocks up. And then exhale, lower back grounds, bring the knees back again to center. Inhale to the right. Exhale, round the lower back, bring the knees back to center. And then inhale, knees to the left. Exhale, bring the lower back to the floor, bring the knees to center. Inhale to the right. And then just keep going from side to side. Inhaling to a side, allowing that exhale to bring you back to center each time. Inhale to a side, exhale to center. Now, if you want to bring a bit more movement to this exercise, you could turn the chin away from the knees. So if your knees go to the right, your chin goes to the left. Everything coming back to center together, and then just switching sides. That'll start to help warm up the neck a bit here. Inhaling to a side, exhaling to center. Let's do a couple more times, all right? Feeling that looseness in the femur heads where the legs connect to the hips. Good. Go ahead and bring the knees back to center and hug them into your chest. We're going to do some more exercises here on our back because why not? We're here, right? So take your arms out to the side, get the knees drawn in, and then kind of knock or lock the knees and the ankles together. They might slide around a little bit here, but try to keep them together as much as you can. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, allow the knees to fall to your left side. And then inhale, bring the knees back to center. And then exhale, take the knees to the right side. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back. And exhale to the right. Inhale back. Let's keep going. Exhale to a side. Inhale to center. And just like the last exercise we did, if you want to, the chin or the head, I should say, can get involved. So as the knees fall, say, to the right, you can turn the head to the left. When the knees go to the left, you can turn the chin or head to the right. Keep going. It's helping to strengthen the core a bit. Also helping to create some rotational mobility in your spine. A couple more times. Good. Go ahead and inhale, bring the knees back to center. Go ahead and just hug them in for a moment. Take an adjusting breath. And let's do a little bit more work for the hips. So keeping your right knee drawn in, go ahead and bring your left foot flat to the floor. The left knee is bent, just like we had for bridge pose. Heel stacking underneath that knee. And then flex the right foot, pull the toes back, and bring the right ankle to rest right above the left knee. So somewhere on the left thigh is ideal. And then flexing the foot helps to stabilize the ankle joint and the knee joint so that this doesn't pop something off that's not supposed to be popped off. All right. So keep that right foot flexed. And then your arms can rest by your sides. Press your left foot into the floor and lift your hips, coming into a one leg bridge. And then exhale, release the hips down. Now it's okay if you don't come up as high as you did in bridge pose earlier. Inhale, lift the hips, and exhale, lower down. Keep the right foot flexed. Inhale and exhale. Just a few more times. Inhale, pushing up. Exhale down, and as you lift the hips this time, go ahead and stay in the pose. Keep the right foot flexed. Press up strongly through your left side, that left hip bone reaching toward the ceiling. And you can relax the right glute or the right hip a bit here. And breathe. Press up a bit higher, inhale. Then exhale, slowly lower the hips down to the floor. Keep the leg crossed where it's at. Take an adjusting breath. Good. Now we're going to do one more exercise for the hip on this side. So again, keeping the ankle where it's at, you're going to pick your left foot up off the floor and bring the left knee in toward your chest. Now, how far you go is depends on how much access you have in your hips, but you might be able to reach your right hand between the legs and with both hands hold behind that left thigh. Okay. Now, if you have that connection, don't yank the knee in toward your chest. The hips don't really appreciate that. Instead, just come to a point where you start to feel the stretch and just breathe at that point. Aware of the inhale, aware of the exhale. Now, there might be some gripping in the right hip. So you could actually just think about softening that. That's actually effort. You could also talk to it. That sometimes works. And like, can you just turn it down a bit? And then after a few breaths, you might notice that you can pull the knee just a hair closer to your chest. Maybe, maybe not, but either way, keep the right foot flexed and take just a few more breaths into this exercise. Beautiful. All right. Carefully release that left foot back to the floor. Now we can uncross that right leg and just feel sensation. You might need to stretch it out for a moment just to feel what's there. And the good news is that we get to feel what this feels like on the other side too. So I hope you liked it. So bring your right foot flat to the floor, heel stacking underneath the knee, prepping for that bridge pose, and then cross your left ankle center of the right thigh or just above the right knee. Just do your best to get it there and flex the left foot, again, protecting the joints here. Your arms can stay down by your sides. And with your inhale, go ahead and scoop the hips up, pressing the pelvis toward the ceiling. Then exhale, come back down. And we're just going to keep moving in and out about 6 or 7 times. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Now, when it comes to the hips, keep moving. When it comes to the hips, I find that in the body, one is usually tighter than the other. And so as you're working with the second side, just notice, is this my open side? Is this my more closed side? And whatever you find, be fine with it. We don't need to judge them as good or bad, right or wrong. Just noticing. This might be your tighter side. Good. So let's try holding it for just a little bit. So go ahead and lift the hips into the air, then stay. And you're activating strong through this right side, pressing that right hip bone toward the ceiling, and then allow the left hip to relax a bit. Keep the left foot flexed though. Breathe. Press up a bit higher. Deep breath in. And then exhale, release the hips down slowly. Keep the leg crossed if you can. Just take an adjusting breath. Great. All right. Let's do the second part of this exercise. So keeping the foot or the ankle above the knee there, keep the foot flexed. Go ahead and pick up the right foot and bring the right knee in toward your chest. If you can reach between the legs with your left hand and with both hands hold behind the right thigh. Now, again, don't yank the knee into your chest. Just guide it in until you get to the point where you feel tension or the stretch and breathe. And breathe. You can ask that left hip to soften a bit or relax a bit. And try to breathe calmly here. Slow breath in and slow breath out. Staying for just another couple of breaths. Good. All right. So carefully release the right foot back to the floor. Carefully uncross that left leg, adjust as you need to. I'm just feeling these floor exercises today, so we're gonna do just a couple more, all right? So go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together in butterfly. And the pinky edge is resting on the ground. The knees are falling out to the sides. And we're going to do butterfly bridge. So your arms are by your sides. And with your next inhale, press the pinky edge of the feet into the floor and lift your hips into the air, keeping the knees relatively wide. And then exhale, bring the hips back down. This is really great for your lower back. Inhale, pick up the hips again. And exhale, lower down. Try to do this slowly. Try to keep the hips in center. Pressing up, inhale. Lowering down, exhale. A couple more. Inhale up. And exhale down. Like the other bridge variations, let's go ahead and hold it this time. Lift the hips up. We're going to do a little bit of extra here. So the feet might fall apart here, and that's completely fine, but take a deep breath in. Exhale, squeeze the knees toward one another, and then keeping the hips raised, inhale, take the knees wide. And then exhale, squeeze the knees together again. Press the hips up. Inhale, take the knees wide. We'll do that 2 more times. Squeeze. Inhale wide. Last one, exhale, squeeze the knees together, keep them together, press the hips up, keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Take the knees wide, release the hips down. Take an adjusting breath. Good. And then with the soles of the feet together, go ahead and pick up the feet, bring them into and toward your body, I should say. And you can hold on to the shins here. You can hold on to the ankles. Some of you with longer arms might be able to hold the pinky edge of your feet. But just make a connection there to hold the feet together and then draw the feet in toward your body. And breathe. Feeling the stretch in the hip. Good. One more breath here. In and out. Go ahead and release the feet. Bring the knees together and hug them in. Good. And then take your time. When you're ready, go ahead and roll to your right side. And we'll come up to hands and knees. Table pose. Coming on up. Take your time. We've already done so much and we haven't even got off the floor yet. All right. So hands under your shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Go ahead and take a deep breath and look forward. Exhale, go ahead and come back to child's pose, taking the seat to the heels, forehead toward the floor. And then inhale back up to hands and knees. Then please curl the toes under, lift your hips into the air, downward facing dog. We're going to stay here for just a few rounds of breath. And, we've worked out the hamstrings, the back of the legs a little bit here, but if you feel like you want a bit more stretch, you can pedal the feet or walk the dog out, as we call it. But at the same time, try to keep the hips reaching toward the ceiling so the back stays pretty flat. Good. One more breath here. Then inhale, float down onto hands and knees. And exhale, child's pose. All right. Back up to hands and knees, inhale. And then step your right foot between your hands. Right foot between your hands. And we're just going to move between two postures here. So keep the hips sinking forward. With your next inhale, reach your arms forward, up, and back, coming into the crescent lunge. With your exhale, bring the hands back down to the floor, straighten the right leg, pull the toes toward you, and feel the stretch in the back of the right leg. Then inhale, rock forward, lift the arms up again, turn the heart toward the ceiling. And then exhale again, hands to the floor, straighten the right leg, pull the toes back. Let's just keep waxing and waning, moving between these two postures. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, bring the arms down, straighten the right leg, forehead toward the shin. Inhale, rocking forward. And then exhale, rocking back. Let's just keep going. Twice more. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, rocking back. Inhale, rocking forward. And exhale, rocking back. And let's stay with the leg extended for just a moment. Pull the right toes toward you. This helps to emphasize that stretch in the back of the right leg. You can walk your hands back toward your body for stability if you need to here. You can also think about your right hip drawing backwards behind you. This will also give you a bit more length in the back of the leg if you want it. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and rock forward. And then sweep that right leg behind you. Let's come into downward facing dog, just feeling a symmetrical pose real quick. You might notice the difference in access on your right side versus your left side. Let's try to balance that out a bit. So go ahead and float down onto hands and knees. And this time bring your left foot forward, please. Good. Now sinking into the hips here, just really sinking forward. With your next inhale, reach the arms forward, up and back. Exhale, bring the hands to the floor and straighten the left leg. Pull the toes toward you. Inhale, rock forward again. Lift the arms up, crescent lunge. And exhale, the hamstring stretch. Go ahead and fold forward, pull the toes toward you as you straighten the left leg. Inhale, rock forward, lifting up. Exhale, hands down, straighten the leg. Keep going, rocking forward. Rocking back. We're going to go for just a few more rounds, moving with your breath. Last one. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, rocking back, straighten the left leg, pull the toes toward you and stay. Now again, you can walk your hands back toward your body a bit for stability. Breathe. You can think about your left hip drawing backwards just a bit, emphasizing that stretch. Good. All right. With your next inhale, rock forward. And this time, curl the back toes under and step that back foot forward, coming into the standing forward fold. Good. Feeling the upper body drape over the legs. Relax the head, shoulders, arms, neck, jaw. Breathe. There's just a slight bend to the knees. And then bend the knees a little bit more. Inhale, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Good. Taking a few deep breaths here. All right, it took us a while, but we made it to standing. Congratulations. So I'm feeling this work with the hips tonight. So let's do it just a bit more for the hips. So take a wide stance on your yoga mat, nice and wide apart. And as we move through the exercise, you'll kind of feel if the feet need to be closer together or wider apart. Okay, and I'll give you some cues as to how to measure that as well. But you want to have both the toes on both feet pointing directly forward, not out to the side. If anything, have them pigeon toe just a little bit. That'll give you more access to the backs of the legs and your lower back. Okay, so go ahead and reach the arms up, inhale. With your exhale, hinge at the hips and swan dive over wide legs. Good. Press your hands or fingertips to the floor. Come halfway up, chest parallel to the ground. And then exhale, fold back down. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side with a strong back. Lift yourself all the way back up to standing. And exhale, fold all the way back down again. Hands or fingertips to the floor. Come halfway up. And exhale, fold. Again, sweep the arms out to the side with a strong back. Lift all the way up. And again, fold all the way forward. Good. Halfway up, inhale. Hands or fingertips on the floor. And then exhale, fold down. Sweep the arms out to the side. Come all the way up. We're going to do that one more time. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Good. Hands or fingertips come halfway up. Exhale, fold all the way up. Inhale. And all the way down. Good. Hanging out here for just a moment. Now, with again your hands or fingertips on the floor, lift yourself up about halfway. Chest parallel to the ground, looking at the floor. It's tempting to jut the chin forward here. That's not going to do much for you. Just look straight down. And then take a deep breath in. With your exhale, bend your right knee over the right toes and just sink down in. Keep the left foot flat on the floor and feel that stretch on the inner thigh. And then inhale, straighten the right leg. And then go ahead and bend the left knee, sinking down into that hip. Keep the right foot flat on the floor. Inhale, straighten the leg. Then exhale, bend the right knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, left knee bends. And just keep going from side to side. Moving with your breath. Inhale, straightening a leg. Exhale, bending a knee. And we're just moving dynamically here because the hips, as I mentioned before, don't like to be rushed. They also need to be kind of coaxed a bit. You gotta flirt with it a little bit before you can hold the posture. Good. Let's go side to side one more time. And then go ahead and bend your right knee and stay. Hands are still flat on the floor. And try to have the chest parallel to the ground here. It's tempting just to bring the head toward the floor, but stay lifted and then sink the hips. A reminder that the left foot is flat on the floor, grounding through the pinky edge. And we're breathing, hopefully. Good. Inhale, straighten the right knee. Don't think about it, just do it. Bend the left knee. Sink into that other side. You can walk your hands to the left a bit here for support if you need to. I didn't mention that on the first side, but you can here. Just keep the chest parallel, looking at the floor. Sink into that hip. Ground the right foot. Ground both feet, actually. Both feet flat on the floor. Good. Inhale, straighten that left leg and just fold between the legs for a moment. Good. And then bring the hands flat to the floor, or fingertips on the ground. Lift yourself up halfway. Take a deep breath in. Then exhale, bend both knees. Sink the hips down. And again, you want to keep the chest parallel to the floor here. Knees bending forward. Looking at the floor. Now you can keep the hands on the floor where they're at right now. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you can bring the hands onto the shins or the waist. The waist is a bit harder. Do what you want to do here. But keep the hips sinking down, keep breathing. Three, two, you can do it. And one, straighten the legs, bring the hands to the floor and just fold. Good. With your next inhale, sweep the arms out to the side with a strong back. Lift yourself all the way up. And release the arms on down. Good job. So our hips are nice and open now. You can go ahead and step the feet together if you'd like. Oh, feeling what that feels like. You can actually walk around for a moment and just notice sensation in the front of the hips, deep in the hips, maybe the quads, tops of the thighs, backs of the legs. Sometimes it's good to feel what's going on here. Good. For now, I'd like us to move into a lunge series where we work with a twist, quite literally. So go ahead and step to the top of your mat, whichever direction that is. Good. And then just as a transition, go ahead and fold forward over the legs. Notice how that feels after all this hip work. And then go ahead and step the left foot way back and bring the left knee to the ground. Good. And then bring the left hand flat to the floor next to the right foot. And then inhale, reach the right arm reaches forward and sweep the arm into the air. So the chest is twisting toward the right knee. Good. Now, once you have the arm in the air, I'm actually gonna have you bring that hand onto your either lower back or your right hip. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, roll the right shoulder back just a bit further. Keep the front knee bending though. Keep sinking into that hip. And if you can look straight up. If that's too much on your neck, don't overdo it. You can look forward or even down a bit. Good. Inhale, unwind. Now keep the right foot forward and straighten the leg. Pull the toes toward you. We're coming back into this hamstring stretch because we loved it so much the first time we did it. Making an assumption here. Now your left hand is going to slide back from the foot just a little bit to create kind of a kickstand. You're going to bring your right hand onto your right hip again. Take a deep breath in, feel length in the spine. Then if you can, roll the right shoulder back again. Keep the right toes pulling toward you. And now we're in this hamstring stretch twisting thing. It's a little bit of a balancing posture too, so be careful here. Good, one more breath. All right, then roll the right shoulder forward, bring both hands to the floor, then bend the right knee, and then step the left foot forward, standing forward, fold. Press palms to shins, lift the chest up halfway, and then exhale, fold down, and we will do the other side. So stepping your right foot way back, bring the right knee to the floor. Good, now starting off with the lunge twist, go ahead and bring your right hand next to the left foot. Inhale, reach the left arm forward. Exhale, sweep that arm into the air. And then bring that left hand, the one in the air, onto your lower back or hip. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, work the left shoulder back a little bit further. Looking up if you can, if not, forward is good. And breathe. Keeping that front knee bending. Good. All right. Go ahead and unwind. Bring both hands to the floor for a moment. All right. Hamstring stretch. Straighten the left leg. Pull the toes back. Slide your right hand back for stability. And then bring your left hand onto your left hip. Take a deep breath in. Feel length in your spine. Then exhale, roll the left shoulder back. Coming into this hamstring stretch twist thing. It's a technical name for the pose. Breathe. Again, it's a bit of a balancing pose, so be careful. Keep the left toes pulling back. Think about the right hip, or sorry, the left hip drawing back. Rolling that left shoulder back, just 2 more breaths. Good, and then to come out, roll the left shoulder forward, bring both hands to the floor, then bend the left knee. And from here, we're gonna step back to downward facing dog. So sweep that left leg back, down dog once again. Notice how the feeling of this pose has changed over the course of our session. And then float down onto hands and knees. And then bend your elbows in towards your waist, bringing your chest and belly down to the floor. Release the hips as well. And your hands can stay underneath your shoulders, elbows bent. And it's tempting for the elbows to splay out to the side. Squeeze them in toward your rib cage instead. And we'll play around with Cobra here. So rolling the shoulders down the back with your inhale, lift the head and the chest, elbows stay bent, and exhale, release down. Let's do that again. Roll the shoulders down the back, lift the heart and head. Exhale, release 3 more times. Inhale, lift, heart and head. Exhale, release. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale down 1 more time. And yes, we're going to hold it. So go ahead and lift yourself up. Heart and head. Again, elbows stay bent. Squeeze the elbows in toward your side. Think about taking the elbows toward the floor as the heart looks forward. Breathe. Good. Deep breath in. And exhale, carefully release on down. Taking an adjusting breath. And then curling the toes under. Take your time as you push up to hands and knees. And then last time, downward facing dog. And then take some really big breaths here in down dog, feeling length in your spine. And then after those few breaths, you can release down onto your knees again. And take your hips to the heels, forehead to the floor, coming into child's pose. Now, as you rest in child's pose, stay present. What's going on in this body here? All right. From child's pose, go ahead and walk your hands back, coming up to a seat. Great job. So go ahead and bring the legs out in front of you, straight out in front of you. And then bend your right knee, foot flat on the floor. Now, if it's your right knee that's bent, it's your left hand that goes directly behind your spine. Not back here, not out to the side, but right behind the spine. So when you push that hand into the floor, it makes you sit up taller. Little body hack for posture. And then go ahead and lift your left arm into the air. Take a deep breath in. Then exhale, take that arm across the body, hook the knee, twist, rolling the right shoulder back and looking behind you. Taking some breaths here. All right, with your next inhale, carefully unwind. And extend the right leg forward. And let's try that on the other side now. Go ahead and bend your left knee. Foot flat to the floor. And again, it's the left knee on top. It's the left hand behind your back. Right butt next to the spine. Press that hand to the floor. Sit up tall. Then inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, take that arm across, hook the knee, and twist, looking over your left shoulder. And taking some breaths here. Last breath. And then inhale, carefully unwind. And extend the leg forward. Good. So with the legs extended forward, there's a couple of options here. The first is if you're feeling like you just need a little bit more support, maybe your hamstrings are feeling tight still, or your lower back is feeling tight still, you can sit on a folded blanket or cushion, and this will give you more access to fold forward when we fold forward here. Okay, so if you need that, bring it. If not, don't. All right, so have the heels about hip width apart or a little wider. Sit up tall, reach the arms up, take a deep breath in. Think about hinging from your hips, bring the heart forward. Inhale, lift back up. Strong back. Exhale, folding forward again. Not going all the way, but just as far enough to feel the stretch. And then lift back up, inhale. Exhale, fold. And lift. We'll do two more. Fold. And lift. And then fold as far as you can while keeping the spine relatively long. So no collapsing here, but keep the chest leading. And then take your hands down to the floor next to the legs or on the legs. Don't worry about grabbing the feet. That's not important here. Just folding over the legs here. Find your breath. Now, as we fold here, we'll do just a little bit of work with your breath. So just notice the pace at which you're breathing, if it feels quick or slow or somewhere in between. And then try to slow down the breath now to make it twice as long. The inhale takes twice the amount of time, and the exhale takes twice the amount of time. Slowing down the breath. All right. With your next inhale, carefully sit back up. Feel sensation for a moment, maybe with the eyes closed. And then when you're ready from here, go ahead and come onto your back to rest. Come into lay down. And as you come to rest on your back, have your heels about as wide apart as your yoga mat. Have your arms out to the sides, about a foot away from your hips. And feel your jaw soft or relaxed. And feel your eyes relax as well. And just try as you rest here to stay present with sensations in your body. We've worked on the hips, we've worked on the shoulders, the lower back, we've done some back bending. We've worked with the back of the legs, and a few other spaces. What's going on in here? Breathe with that sensation. peace, peace, peace. Please begin to take a deeper, fuller breath. Make some gentle movements in your hands and your feet, your arms and your legs. And when you feel ready, go ahead and roll to your right side. And then when you're ready from there, go ahead and come on up to a seat. So sitting tall, go ahead and bring your palms to your heart and bow your chin. And just honor yourself for all the work you've done here tonight, feeling gratitude to yourself for all of the effort that you put forth. May all of that effort and this practice continue to serve you. So until we meet again, namaste.